Did you ever wonder what is the driving force behind an ant colony? Do they have a ruler who gives orders? You could say so, but this ruler is not an individual ordinary person would assume it to be. While the queen is named after a ruling title in our human world, in reality, amongst ant species, she doesn't rule anything in the ant nest. She's important, make no mistake, but rather as a special kind of servant. Colony depends on her for growth, but she won't be the one making important decisions. Here in the nest of Black River tribe, we can see plenty of one, but not the only caste, of decision makers. The brood. Of course, not all the brood has the ability to actively control behaviors of their older sisters. And as an egg, for example, cannot really communicate its needs. Nevertheless, eggs are carefully tended to by the workers, who, you could say, lick them clean and spread antimicrobial kind of venom on their surface to prevent fungi and bacteria from penetrating the egg's surface and killing the ant baby. Workers will also move them to the most appropriate available location, humidity and temperature-wise, each time conditions in the nest change. This is made easier by the fact that ant eggs are sticky and clumped together. No worker has to go through the annoyance of carrying one egg at a time, which is important, especially when the brood pile grows larger and there would be a need for quick egg relocation. After some time, eggs, if fertile, will develop into larvae, at first really small and hairy. This initial larval stage is almost impossible to distinguish from an egg, since their hair also sticks them together in clumps. But as larvae are fed by the workers and grow, we start to notice them being transparent with a darker dot inside their body, looking a bit alike to maggots in shape. And as the ant reaches its larval stage, arguably it's their will that counts the most for the ant colony. Larvae's only goal is to eat, and so it will signal its hunger to the caretakers, which will significantly alter the demand for certain types of food scout workers will seek out. Adult ants are mainly powered by carbohydrates, but for the youth of colony, they'll focus on bringing dead insects and other protein-based foods into the nest. In this ant species, we see larvae being offered pieces of dead insect they can consume on their own, but nutrients can also be transferred to the larvae through the process of trophallaxis, when worker has liquid food to share that's appropriate for larval nutrition. Brood's priority in workers' lives doesn't end there though. In situations of danger, safety of the eggs, larvae and pupae will take priority even over the evacuation of colony's queen. She's an adult, she can move by herself, so majority of the workers' forces will be delegated to evacuate the brood from damaged or raided nest. Sadly though, in case of food shortages in the colony, and due to vast difference in nutritional requirements of adult workers and the larvae, and babies will not be all treated equal. Eggs and smaller larvae will be sacrificed and fed to the larger, older ones, if the demand of protein food can't be satisfied otherwise. I've read somewhere that larvae can sometimes even cannibalize the eggs on their own, in their selfish hunger, provided they have access to them. Maybe that's why, as I observed in my previous video, my ant colony preferred to stash their eggs near the pupa pile. Though provided that all goes well, and in case of our pet ant colonies, we won't neglect their nutritional needs, no ant larva will go hungry. Then, in time, larvae will grow to the size alike to that of an adult ant, and turn into a pupa. The whole process in our common black ant species starts with a larvae spinning its cocoon, that's made from silky thread. It's hard to observe, but I did manage to catch some of this process on camera. What I saw was pretty surprising and quite messy, Look at that untidy mess of strings those larvae are surrounded with. We can already observe the clear shape of pupae inside that one big tangle of theirs. But they seem to be stuck together, and their worker sisters are working hard on separating them. Not the most graceful cocoon spinning there, dear tribans. Interesting thing is how larvae are aided by the workers in another way. See that there? Looks like adult ants are bringing grains of sand to their larvae, apparently to help them initiate the cocoon spinning. Looks like they found a solution to the issue that resulted in cocoonless pupae we saw in the previous episode. Inside their silky cocoons, the pupae will undergo the process of complete metamorphosis, alike to the one that results in caterpillar's transformation into a butterfly. In this stage of life, they will once again be completely dependent on workers' will, as when they were an egg. They will be relocated to the warmest spots, and that will allow them to take their final form quicker. In due time, their worker sisters will help them out of cocoons, just as they once helped their old larval selves to spin them. The cocoon will be cut open with precise use of mandibles, never threatening to injure an ant inside. Let's spend some time watching them peel it off of this freshly formed sister of theirs. Adult will emerge lightly colored and soft, and as we can see, older sisters will immediately begin to clean her. It may even look a little bit intrusive, but with how numerous ant colonies can be, I doubt they have much care for each other's personal space. Those young workers are called callows, and will be performing the lightest tasks, if any, until their exoskeleton hardens and acquires normal coloration. And when that happens, once again will they be in position to make important decisions, since even though the brood demands, and all those decisions will be made with brood's optimal well-being in mind, in the end it will be the collective of workers that will decide most important matters. Whether or not there's a need to move the nest, if a threat can be eliminated or escape is necessary. All those decisions will be made through workers. They will have no need for a commander, though they will sometimes face indecisiveness. But in the times of need, where the majority of the workers decide to go, the whole colony will follow. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and in the next one I will talk more about the Black River tribe's diet, since I've already touched a bit on this subject today. If you're curious about it, then please subscribe and press the bell button to make sure you'll receive a notification when the next video is up. See you again soon!